You're all too kind. Too kind. Everyone, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Old Head Bangers Ball. Tonight, it's a very special episode for two reasons, really. Number one, this is the 20th episode of Old Head Bangers Ball. I can't believe I've been doing this shit for 20 weeks now. That sounds like a long time. But also on top of that, if you've been paying attention, if you're a fan of my channel, you may have noticed I have surpassed 5,000 subscribers. So that's pretty exciting. So we're going to have a little celebration tonight because I said so. And since I'm the one that does all the fucking work around here, I'm deciding how we're going to celebrate. And you know what happens when I'm left in charge? Thrash happens. So welcome to a night of thrash, for the most part. Yeah, I'm kind of throwing some rules out the window for tonight's episode because it's a special episode. And you know what? Maybe I'm getting a little bit tired of the fucking rules that I set for myself. So maybe going forward, I might be a little bit more lenient with things. But the big rule that I'm going to break tonight is we're going to be watching two out of the three videos we're going to be watching did not air on the American Headbangers Ball. They're from the time period, but as far as I know, they never aired in America. They may have aired in other countries, but not in the good old US of A. I guess it's not so good if these fucking videos did not air on Headbangers Ball, because they should have. Anyway, so really tonight's going to be me playing three music videos from bands that I think should be talked about way more than they are. Three lesser knowns that I hold very close to my heart, as they say. So let's just fucking get this shit started. We're going to start with the most well-known of the lesser knowns tonight, and one of my favorite, not only thrash metal bands, but favorite bands ever. We're going to be listening to a song from this album, The American Way. Oh, there's a glare. The American Way from Sacred Reich. This album came out in 1990, 30 years ago. Woo! And the video we're going to be watching is for the track The American Way. An amazing song by an amazing band. This is the second full-length album. I don't know what happened with my mouth right there. You probably didn't even hear it. I felt it. The second full-length album from Sacred Reich. And they have never put out a bad album. And never put out a bad song. So let's just go ahead and fucking jump right into it. Sacred Reich, The American Way. That was a good pause. With their original drummer. I go maybe not original, but you know, the drummer that played on the first 4 albums. Fuck, I don't remember. Anyway, 3 albums. I don't know. And I don't know why these facts are so all of a sudden not in my head. I think this may have been his last album, and then the next one, Independent. Yes, I got that right. I'm sorry that you guys had to hear all of that going on in my head, but that's literally the verbalization of the kind of things that happen in my head 24 hours a day. Anyway, so the thing that I will always say every time we listen to a Sacred Reich song is how much I love the voice of Phil Rind. He is one of my favorite vocalists. It's just such a soulful, powerful thrash metal style vocal. And I love that shit. That is so fucking perfect, especially for the music and the message of the music. This is a song written 30 years ago that if you read the lyrics, you would think they wrote it now. That's how fucked up things still are. So yeah, I'm sorry. I just you know, I'm just, you know, spreading the love because I love Sacred Reich. Let's just keep going.
Talk to children and I'm saying, Daddy left again today. For all the sins and mommy lies, future lost before her eyes. The sun was on behind the bars, they wrapped it up and blacked it out. Acid rain fell today, came to wash the hopes away. This is also land of dreams, now they seem to agree. In the midst of all this, all the poor left to help themselves. Capitalist democracy, why no one set them free to free? Lady Liberty rocks away. No truth, no just the American way.
And it's like, it's such an, this is like one of my favorite thrash metal songs ever. And it's, you know, mid-tempo thrash, but just that riff, it's so simple but so effective. Like it's so good, and that's something that's very important for me with music in general, especially thrash metal. Sometimes you just gotta lean into a fucking good groove. If you find a good groove, you bring a riff to your band, the bass and the drums kick in, and you guys start playing. And if that groove feels fucking good, you write a song around the groove. No need to be all willy about everything, because it is unnecessary. And this is case in point right here. Let's continue. Wiley Arnett, badass solo, badass guitar player. No, I don't need to say anything else. Let's go. Oh, and I can't leave out Jason Rainey, the other guitar player who was with the band throughout their initial run through Heel in the 90s. And unfortunately, he passed away this year. So that kind of sucks. Like, he was, you know, part of the OG lineup of Sacred Reich, and that's a huge loss. So yeah, rest in peace to Jason Rainey. But he left behind a legacy of some really badass fucking music. I wish that I could have been involved in something 1/8 as badass as this. Let's finish this one up.
That there's no one left to trust. Is this happening? Is this real? My body numb, I cannot feel. Are you happy? Are you sad? Or emotional thing in the past? I have no tears, I cannot cry. No one more for the world that's died. This was once the land of dreams. Now these years have turned to greed. In the midst of all us, all the poor left to help themselves. Capitalist democracy, why no one set the freedoms free? Lady Liberty rocks away. No truth, no trust, the American way.
Yes. The American Way by Sacred Reich. If you don't already know, now you know. Also, fun fact, that song was also included in the movie Encino Man. You know, I'm going to bring up that movie anytime I get a chance. You know why? It's because all I care about is nugs, chillin', and grindage. We all know this, folks. So let's move on to the second video of the night. All right, folks, let's continue tonight's celebration. Let's move back 1 year to 1989, and let's head on up on the map to Montreal, Canada. And let's listen to a track from this album, Universe from DBC, or Dead Brain Cells. This is the second of 2 albums from DBC, and it's the more progressive of the 2. So when it comes to thrash, this song we're going to be watching it's teetering. It's very progressive to the point where if you didn't know they previously played thrash metal, you probably wouldn't even notice. I don't know. That's why I said kind of thrash metal. So, but Dead Brain Cells are one of my favorite bands, and both of their albums are ridiculously good. The self-titled debut album is more of a thrashy affair, and it's faster and more aggressive, and this one is very progressive, a la Voivod, if you will. But the song we're going to be watching tonight is the Genesis Explosion, and it is so good. This is a band, I did a Bands You Should Know on Dead Brain Cells. I think the first one I ever did was on this band, Dead Brain Cells. And it still blows me away that this isn't a band that everybody always talks about, because they're up there for me. So let's go ahead and get on it. The Genesis Explosion. Sorry, I could just let this thing play and not say a word. This is so good. The whole album is this good, and I love this. It's the best kind of metal, because it's the kind of metal that it has its elements that keep it from seeming too complex to where it's just all over the place. But at the same time, as the song unfolds, and you'll see, and it's like this throughout the album, there's things that you don't catch the first time, and parts of the song that kind of unfold as you listen to it more. And the songwriting is so fucking good. And oh man, these guys. Let's keep going.
Intense, but darkness big on edge. His critical point is reached. Threshold into night. Genesis explosion, creation of the universe. Gravitation begins its task as the architecture force. Atoms seek out gravity and head towards its source. The atom source becomes a scene of growing concentration.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like so many things happen in some of these songs that I forget some of the changes, and I've heard this song a lot. So it's even, there's even parts of the songs now I'm like, oh yeah, that's that cool change that happens there. God, these guys need so much more credit than they got. It is a fucking crime.
Formation of the galaxies and their first generation.
It's like almost like a jazziness going on in there. I hate using that word, but that's what comes to mind. I have nothing else I can say. Let's finish this song up. Yes. The Genesis explosion. That is so good. Hopefully some of you out there that haven't heard that before get what I'm saying. That there are a lot of bands that people talk about a lot that aren't that great. And then there are bands like this that are great that not a lot of people talk about. And that is why I feel like there is no God. I'm just kidding. Who knows? Who knows? So let's move on, because Dead Brain Cells, DBC, amazing band. Go find their shit. I think it's all on your Spotify's and your Apple Musics or wherever the fuck you listen to music, because both albums are amazing. And unfortunately, in 1994, the original guitar player passed away. So I think that's part of why they kind of fizzled out. And you hear now and again on the internets that they play together, the remaining members, and they've done some one-off kind of reunion shows. I cover all this in my bands, you should know. But unfortunately, it seems like that's probably it for this band. 2 fabulous fucking albums, and then there's an EP of some unreleased stuff too, which is equally as cool. I'm talking a lot about Dead Brain Cells, but whatever. It's my fucking celebration, bitches. Okay, almost time for the last video of the night, but first, it's time for a message.
Warning, Transmission will be terminated in T-minus 60 seconds.
We are not alone. Alien super beings have journeyed millions of light years to Earth bearing a message of intergalactic friendship. One of their spacecraft has been intercepted and relocated to a restricted military facility. This is Hangar 18. Hangar 18 is a massively guarded exploratory research center in which alien life forms are held captive and forced to submit to sickening government experiments. Your mission is to rescue these visitors. You will need help. Join forces with the cosmic diplomats of metal, Megadeth, in their crusade to blow the lid off this top-secret cover-up. By day, scour the desert for clues of a close encounter. By night, you and a friend will go undercover mixing with civilians at a Megadeth musical rant. Should you choose to accept this mission, send a postcard with your name, address, age, and daytime phone number to Headbangers Ball, Mission Megadeth, P.O. Box 8999, Radio City Station, New York, New York, 10101. But be forewarned.
If you get caught, we've never heard of you.
So that's a cool commercial, but aside from going to a Megadeth show, did any of that information come across as what the contest is actually for? Like, are you literally? I mean, I'm assuming somebody won that contest, but I don't remember. But did you go to Area 51 and snoop around with Megadeth? Because that's the only other thing. It wasn't like you get a car and you get a trip to here. It was just like you investigate and you go to a Megadeth show. That's a very weird contest. If anybody knows, put that in the comments because I'm very interested. So we're approaching the conclusion of tonight's 20th episode celebration, and we're gonna wrap it up in a big fucking way. This is another example where I'm breaking some rules. This was not played in America, unfortunately, and the quality of this clip ain't great, but it's the best one that's out there. And once again, it's a fucking crime. There should be a crisp, clear, remastered version of this out there for everyone because this band is one of the best thrash metal bands ever. So let's wrap it up. I wasn't prepared. Let's wrap it up with a song from Acid Rain. I'm holding up this little 10-inch because we're going to be watching the music video for the song Humanoia. And Humanoia was on their debut album. I say that because there's a mini album prior to that. But the album is called The Fear. But the re-recorded version is what's in this video, and that's in this 10-inch. And then look, just look at the dudes. Look at young Howard H. Smith with hair. So yes, Acid Rain. I've talked about them in other videos a lot, and they are one of my favorite. Not just thrash metal bands, just bands, just up there with how I feel about Sacred Reich. And so yeah, we're gonna fucking close out this motherfucker with Humanoia. Woo! All right, Humanoia. God damn, this song is good. If everyone at home, if your shit is not cranked all the way up, then you are doing it wrong. Come on, everyone. All right.
Don't wait, don't what's telling me, don't what's there.
I always really liked that tempo change, which that's a thing that once again I did a band you should know on Acid Rain also, but the big thing about them is that they are so overlooked for being technically such an interesting band with the different shifts that they would have in songs. And I mean, there is some amazing musicianship going on in this band, but like Anthrax, I guess, because they had a sense of humor, everyone's like, they're not very good. They should be standing really still in their jeans and playing and headbanging, and that is it. I don't know. I have no idea why. It's another one of those crimes. But I love that shift from the verse to the chorus to the verse. I don't know why it's so cool. Sometimes abrupt shifts feel really good. You see that slip up lyrically that I just did? I was like doing a lyric from another part of the song, and I'm like, where were we? Okay. Howard jumping off of high things into the crowd, a thing that he still does today, folks. God, this is so good. This is a whole night of me just talking about how good shit is. Does that make this show boring as opposed to other ones where I have jokes and criticisms? Because that doesn't feel much like a celebration. So no, I like this. Oh man, that was stupid. So like I said, that is not the best version of that video. Well, it's the best one that you can find on the internet at this point. So that sucks, but that song does not suck, nor does Acid Rain. I'm sorry if this one was a little bit simple. It's just me rocking out to songs that I love, and that's what a celebration is all about, I guess. So thank you all very much for joining me for the 20th episode of Old Head Bangers Ball. Old Head Bangers Ball. Next week, I'm going to take a well-deserved break. So next Saturday, I will not be here with you. I'm going to take a week off to recuperate a little bit and gather my thoughts and figure out where I'm going with Old Head Bangers Ball. I can't just keep doing the same shit over and over again. I'm going to run out of songs or run out of bands. And so when we come back, it will be on Halloween night, October 31st, folks. So whatever plans you have for Halloween, make sure they're done by 10 o'clock p.m. Central Time, because that's when I'm going to be on for a special Halloween episode of Old Head Bangers Ball. So next week, sorry I won't be here. Don't miss me too much. But after that, set your Swatch watches and get ready for the Halloween spectacular. It won't be spectacular. It's going to be an episode, the Halloween episode of Old Head Bangers Ball. Anyway, thank you very much. for joining me. If you're one of my new subscribers that's now at 5,000, woo! Welcome and thank you for watching. And like and subscribe and comment and share this to everyone in the fucking world. All right. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you all again in 2 weeks. Bye.